As 13,000 British soldiers stormed his fortress, he raised a pistol Queen Victoria herself had gifted him years earlier and turned it on himself rather than be taken alive. His name was Emperor Tewodros II of Ethiopia, and his death marked one of the most defiant last stands in African history. Tewodros rose from obscurity to unify a fractured Ethiopia in the mid-1800s, ending decades of civil war between rival regional lords. He built Ethiopia's first library. He created a centralized tax system. He dreamed of modernizing his nation with European technology and weapons, and pulling Ethiopia into the industrial age. In 1862, he wrote directly to Queen Victoria, requesting British assistance and technical support. She never responded. Humiliated by the silence, Tewodros imprisoned the British consul and several European missionaries and craftsmen living in his territory, hoping to force a reply. Instead, Britain responded with an army. In 1867, 13,000 British and Indian troops landed on the coast, backed by 36,000 support personnel and pack animals. They marched over 400 miles through brutal mountain terrain, dragging artillery pieces most military planners believed impossible to transport through that landscape. By April 1868, they reached Tewodros's mountain fortress at Magdala. His own regional rivals, sensing his weakening power, refused to send reinforcements. His army, worn down by years of internal rebellion, numbered only a few thousand against Britain's modern rifles and artillery. On April 10th, the British shattered his forces at the base of the mountain. Tewodros released his European hostages, hoping it might end the conflict. It did not. The British pressed forward regardless. On April 13th, as his fortress walls were breached and his remaining soldiers fell around him, Tewodros made his final decision. He would not be captured. He would not be paraded through London in chains. He raised a pistol gifted to him years earlier by the very queen whose silence had started this war, and ended his own life just inside the gates of Magdala. British soldiers found his body moments later. They looted the fortress of centuries of religious and cultural treasures, crowns, manuscripts, and royal regalia, much of which remains in British museums and private collections to this day. His young son was taken to England as a ward of the crown and never returned home. Ethiopia remains one of only 2 African nations never fully colonized by a European power. Historians still argue whether Tewodros's final stand became a symbol of that resistance or a tragic warning of what happens when pride outweighs diplomacy. Follow this series for the true, documented history the world tried to forget. Episode 6 uncovers a queen whose 30-year war against colonizers has almost been erased from memory. Don't forget to like and subscribe.